Hi, I'm Benjamin Salisbury, and I'm the voice of Tin Boy on the Oz Kids. It was so much fun making it that I decided to take you on a behind-the-scenes tour. So get ready for a journey to the wonderful land of Oz. To find out how it all began, we have to take a trip to Hollywood, California. This is where Hyperion Studios is located. Here the artists and production staff bring the Oz Kids to life.
It's a day to kick off your shoes and dance, play and sing.
Be you Munchkin,
or Gilligan,
Winky,
or Quadling.
We have to get to Emerald City before Otto does. We are in so much trouble.
How do we explain this to our folks?
We simply say that we were irresponsible, lost the magic belt, and that the Emerald City is about to be taken over by a giant gnome.
We'll let you tell them.
I'm not gonna tell him, I'm too shy.
Back in 1984, Hyperion was founded by Thomas Wilhite and Willard Carroll. Together they've built an award-winning animation studio with such titles as Life with Louie, Happily Ever After, The Itsy Bitsy Spider, and The Brave Little Toaster.
I guess that the reason we started this company was largely because we each wanted to have something of our own. And certainly personally, I've always come from a family where we had our own businesses, my father, my grandfather. So I think that's largely the reason that I wanted to start my own company. The first film we actually made as an independent company was The Brave Little Toaster, and we had a fair amount of success with that at a time when animation was not as fashionable as it is today. We decided several years ago to focus on television, and the Oz Kids is really something that originated with my partner.
I've been a fan of the Oz books since I was a child, and I wanted to find a way to introduce some new Oz characters into a television series, into an animated series. To do something with the Oz characters that wasn't a direct sequel to the books, but used ideas from the books and put these new characters into brand new stories.
You are trespassing, and you woke the little ones.
And they hate being woken.
I can see that, and I can hear that. Can't you shut them up?
We've tried everything. But once they get started,
There's no stopping them. Pinky is one of our great mysteries. Wind him up and he provides the correct solution to any problem.
Just give me the facts, tell me the news. I'll provide a solution and then take a snooze.
Besides being the creator of the series, Willard also happens to be one of the foremost collectors of Oz memorabilia in the world, and he's invited us into his home to look at his collection.
L. Frank Baum wrote 14 Oz books, starting with The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, which was published in 1900, so we're coming up on the centenary of that book's publication. In the making of the Oz Kids, we used elements from several of his other Oz fantasies, as well as a couple of his non-Oz fantasies, a couple of books called The Sea Fairies and Sky Island, which are known as borderland of Oz stories because they take place in territories that are nearby, but not in Oz. Also in this room, this is a collection that I've amassed over the last 30 years, are a variety of toys and games and other ephemera that are inspired by the books and the movies and other animated series. Although The Wizard of Oz is a quintessentially American fairy tale, it has also been very popular around the world. The book was first translated in France in the early 30s, and since then the book has been translated into virtually every language, and there are editions available all over the world.
Wow, that's really cool. Now let's get back to the studio for the actual making of the Oz Kids. The first step in making the show is writing the story. Willard wrote all the episodes in the series.
We're using several of the earlier books as a sort of inspiration for this series. We use some characters, some incidents, but basically put our new characters, the Oz kids, into these stories.
Do you really think we'll find mermaids there?
Mermaids, mermaids. There's no such animal.
It's just some fairy tale. A little more behind the left knee.
Yeah, creatures like that couldn't exist.
You know, guys, you'll find this hard to believe, but there are some people who would have trouble believing in tin boys and scarecrows and pumpkins who talk.
Oh, really? But here we are.
Yep, talking away. Squeaking away. You missed a spot, Scarecrow.
After the scripts are completed, the next step is to create the characters. See, there I am being drawn now.
The characters are all new characters, but they harken back a lot to what their parents' personalities were, although they are not directly mirror images, and in many cases they are polar opposites of what their parents are. The Tin Man in the book wanted a heart, was always afraid of being unloved. Tin Boy is completely lovable and very much in touch with his feelings.
Yeah, sometimes friends have to intervene to save people from themselves.
The Scarecrow, as opposed to his father, who didn't think that he had a brain, Scarecrow believes he has the biggest brain of all and thinks that he knows everything.
You'd think I'd get tired of being right all the time, but you know what? It's still a thrill, like the other day when...
Scarecrow!
The Cowardly Lion from the book has two children in this series, two cubs, Bella and Boris, who are twins. Boris is similar to his father in that he's very frightened of a lot of things. Bella is exactly the opposite, something of a brat.
I scared him. There I was, all by myself against these giant birds. But did I run away? No, sirree. I faced him. I roared, and I scared him away.
Oh, really? You roared?
Indeed I did. I roared ferociously.
You mean like this?
Yeah, just like that. Only scarier.
Dot and Nettie are very much like their mother, Dorothy, in that they're both very resourceful, they're very loving. They are sort of the team leader in the adventures that these characters go on.
Christmas? Sad? How could that be?
I think Scarecrow's hit it right on the head. You see, Nettie, sometimes people have been alone for a long time.
Like Rick?
Yes, sometimes, well, they don't have a family.
But Rick does have a family.
Andrea, who is Glinda's daughter, can't make up her mind whether she wants to be a good witch or a bad witch. She has magic powers, which she uses very infrequently, but as a sort of last resort to get herself and the other children out of trouble.
You tried to cut me out of the Christmas fun.
No, we didn't.
Don't play innocent with me. I know differently.
But I addressed your invitation myself.
Ha!
But it's true, Andrea. Why wouldn't we have invited you?
Well, I don't really know.
Yeah, you're our friend. At least I thought she was becoming our friend.
I'm your friend? Really?
The characters have come to life. Now the look of the show needs to be designed.
Layout is being the cinematographer for animation. It's kind of a combination of cinematographer, director. You have to design the key areas, design scene to scene what is going to be happening, camera angles, lighting, mood, where the characters are going to be, what actions they will take. I would do a line drawing, then go in and render it in with the tones, whatever lighting would be, what different shadings, and then the background painter would go ahead and put in the colors. What I wanted to do was to do something hopefully different, depending on what the stories were, what was going to be going on in the stories, the characters that were involved, that would all come into the thinking of how a certain show, certain location would be designed.
Our next step in the process is to record the actor's voice for each character.
I scared him. I scared him. I scared him. There I was, all by myself against these giant birds. But did I run away? No, sirree. I faced him. I roared, and I scared him away.
Watch out. Don't trip. You are such a klutz, Boris.
Stop. No, it scares me.
Everything scares you.
Does not.
Does so. See? Such a baby. Thank you, Toto, for proving me right, as always. Watch out! Don't trip. You are such a klutz, Boris.
Stop yelling, it scares me.
Everything scares you.
Does not.
Does so. See? Such a baby. Thank you, Toto, for proving me right, as always.
Each episode is then broken down into what is called storyboards.
When storyboarding, you receive a script from the writer. You review the script, and it gives you an idea visually what to look for, of the placement, of the layout, and the characters itself. From there on, I have a cassette tape with all the characters' voices on it that gives me a general idea of their emotions and their body language that I can put on paper. After that's all completed, it does go to the animators, and that gives them a general idea of how the scenes are going to be worked out scene by scene.
Now, colors for the show need to be chosen.
I'm given a background where the color's been decided by the art director and the background painter, and that sort of sets the mood for the scene. I'm also given a linear design for the characters or the props. Then I use my paint chips, which are from an established palette of colors, to select my colors. And once the colors are selected, we paint up a sample on a cell, and once that's approved, then we do a markup, which is sort of a map to show which areas are painted what colors, and that's our communication with the people who do the follow-up work. The palettes that we selected for Little Wizards was established from the book, and that's what the colors we used on the main characters are derived from their original costumes. And any action and characters that take place in the Oz and the Emerald City are more fantastic, and we use pastels and more bright colors.
The background painters work closely with the color model department.
Before we start the process of painting, we look at reference other artists, other books and animation, and sometimes we might steal a little style, but in general we try to come up with our own idea. It just helps the creative juices going, and eventually after it's painted, it is used for characters to move upon in different areas.
Animated special effects are a unique part of the whole process.
I'll handle any effect called for in the scene. Say there's lighting effects or shadows, some fire, magical effects, water dripping, rain, smoke. I usually take a look at the scene and decide how's this effect going to impact the scene, and really try to get the best out of it. A lot of times I'll take a whole page and just rough out designs. And then I think of the exposure and how is there going to be backlit burn-in? Are we going to use a gel for a certain color on the effect? Do we want to shoot this effect at a percentage so that's transparent? I try to get a couple designs in there, like how this effect's going to begin and how it finishes off, and try to get those designs to really look as best I can.
All these pieces of the puzzle are then shipped to an overseas animation studio where they animate and paint the cells before shooting them onto film. After we get the animation back from overseas, the post-production process begins. The director and the editor combine talents to edit together the final order of sequences. This final cut goes to various artists, such as the music composer.
I think what we do, first of all, we look at the show, we decide where we're going to put music, we decide where we're not going to put music, and then we basically take the parts where we're going to put music and break them down as far as things called hits, and try to find out where the music will hit, where the music won't hit, and then just go about writing it sort of piece by piece. The new episodes that we're doing now take place underwater, so musically that presents a whole different set of challenges and problems. We're playing in different modes, we're playing in different keys than we would, and I think they just have more of a flowing sort of liquid quality to them. The the character's character is real specific. I mean, we have Dorothy, who's sort of, you know, is obviously the sweetest, most sort of beguiling character, so she usually has a fairly innocent music behind her. We have Andrea, who is, you know, has sort of a mystical quality to her, so she sort of exists in sort of a little minor key little phrase that she gets all the time. And then we have Rick, the old guy, who has sort of a weary, sort of weather-beaten kind of a theme that goes behind him. But I think mostly it's because the characters are so different that it's you know, the themes sort of suggested themselves, really.
Final adjustments are then made to the film picture. The colors are enhanced and brightened to the specifications of the director. The post-production process is all pulled together in the final mix session, which combines all audio from the music composer, Foley and effects artists, and the actors' voices to complete the finished show. Along the way, many situations arise that cause complications. John Bush, producer of the Oz Kids, deals with these problems on a daily basis.
This series has a lot of character design, and there's so many different characters that it presents a little bit of a challenge. One thing I like about this series is that it allows kids to use their imaginations. It allows kids to be intelligent, because I think kids are very smart. I think kids are a lot smarter than most people think they are, and most creators of cartoon series. It allows kids to use intelligent conversation, to engage in something other than fighting or slipping or falling or getting a frying pan in the face. And it allows them at the same time to visit strange and mysterious and fun places. I mean, we create so many different atmospheres in the series. I think the most difficult part of the job, and at the same time, the best part of the job, is dealing with so many people throughout the production. And I think balancing all these talented people is difficult at times, because it's a challenging market right now, and there's so many other places to go. But so many of them have chosen to stay and work on this series because they felt such an affinity to this particular series.
From an idea, to pencil marks on paper, to color animation, the story comes to life, bringing forth a creative piece of artwork that will entertain audiences for years to come. The stories of L. Frank Baum continue to live on in the Oz Kids. Well, that's about it. I hope you enjoyed your tour into the wonderful world of Oz.